Hey guys, welcome to the latest Art of War Plus One. Today we've got a very exciting matchup of Bravo versus Katsu. What kind of list are you playing and what's your strategy?
So I've decided to try out Karen's list from the charity event, which he won with, mainly because it features the new cards from Monarch, which is the Belittle and Minimalism combo, which he was running into slower deck matchups, such as Bravo. So just here trying out the list and seeing how I like these cards and how they play out.
Yeah, so they're used to like fix your hand, right?
Yeah,
Because you can tutor up either a resource or an aggressive card.
exactly. So like,
Cool.
So these are coming. These will be coming in, and then these are my sideboard cards that'll be coming out in this matchup.
Okay, so
We can go
just quickly explain like what cards you're sideboarding out and just why.
So Torrent of Tempo is coming out because Torrent of Tempo is mainly used in matchups where the opponent doesn't want to block.
Right,
So
because you're
like,
threatening that on hit.
you're threatening the on hit, and when the opponent like wants to keep as many hands as possible,
Yeah.
many cards in hand as possible. This is really effective because it's threatening their on hit, and they have to really think about it. Bravo doesn't really care that much.
I'm just going to block you out every
You're just
time,
going to block it out. This card reads
And-
deal no damage for
Yeah.
one resource and not get go again.
And same with the life for life, right?
Exactly.
It's never going to gain you a life.
Never going
and,
to gain me a life.
Quite often it won't have go again.
Exactly, and it's not a zero cost, so unlike Scar for a Scar, which I can use to pitch for Dark Cheese or tutor up for Katsu, it doesn't do that. And then these two are just 2 excess blues to come out, since I bring in 3 blue minimalisms.
Cool.
And open the center simply because head jab is very rarely going to hit, and I have to most of the time draw it with the head jab, and it just costs too much resource.
Yeah. I think this is like a really important thing to think about when you're sideboarding is you don't want to unbalance your deck.
Yeah,
If you're
for
looking when you're just with every deck you play, I think you want to have like a set number of each color, kind of no matter how you play.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
kind of have to work out where it is. So
You don't want too many of your sideboard cards being blue cards, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're removing a large amount of your resource.
yeah,
Depending on matchup, you really want the blues to be more core to the deck.
yeah, definitely. So I'm on Bravo, and actually Bravo is kind of an exception because you can play lots of blue cards with very little. You have your core blue block 3s, but you have lots of flexibility in kind of some of the blue sideboard cards you play. So today we're taking out Snag because they're for chain and chain only. We're taking out Energy Potion and Potion of Strength because they don't block against the aggressive Katsu cards. We're taking out Staunch Response because they're a bit too tall for what I expect Katsu to throw for me, so they're not 100. They're not likely to be efficient.
Yeah.
They're probably going to overblock. Remembrance because the game should go fast enough that I won't need to recycle any of my cards and it doesn't block. And Forge for War because my game plan isn't to block only 2 cards and then do nothing. So this is for the chain matchup where I want to block out really heavily again. Cool. So the armor I'm running today is the classic. The 4 pieces of armor: the Arcanite Skullcap, Tectonic Plating, Craterfist, and Iron Rot Legs with Anathos. Very basic setup. And the equipment I'm not running is Norrin Hood, Norrin Gloves, Norrin Boots, and Norrin Robe, which you do not see here, but is technically in the Decklist. I just haven't found the card.
Yeah. And then my equipment is the Katsu standard mask, tunic, breaking scale, snapdragon. Karen's list has hardened cross strap in it. However, you don't run this into Bravo because it's a slower matchup. You run that into stuff like chain where you're really needing to race it.
Yeah, and you're using that to get the surging strike off, basically.
So you don't brick a hand in a matchup where you really need to race. Whereas in Bravo, like bricking still sucks, but it's not going to be as punishing.
Yeah. All right, should we roll to start?
Yep.
So I roll 11.
11, and I roll
8.
8.
Cool.
So
I will start.
Shuffle these in.
Yeah, so in this matchup, because of the aggression that Katsu puts out, I have to really play the game with them and try and be proactive in getting my own effects off and forcing them to block so that they can't just set up a plunder run an arsenal and walk over me once I hit 20 life. So the idea is to try and keep the ninja on the back foot as best as I can and play the game with them.
Yeah. And then my main goal is to put on enough pressure that the most that I'm facing down is an Anathos swing every turn.
Exactly right.
While trying to get those big setup cards like Plundron and Art of War into Arsenal.
Yeah.
For those big blow turns, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get over.
Cool. All right, start.
So, picked me to start, correct? Or you
I
decided?
started.
Yep, I started. Yep.
I'll play a red blessing and draw a card.
Yep.
I'll then make a Seismic Surge token. I'm going to pitch 3 and play a Stamp Authority, so that I get an extra intellect on my next turn, and turn hit triggers off for attack actions. And then I'm going to ask my card and pass.
Alrighty. It's not the most ideal for me, as I wanted to filter my hand a little bit.
Yeah, so by not attacking there, I actually kind of forced the ninja to play the hand he was dealt.
Yeah.
Which might not be ideal.
So we're going to try and put on a little bit of pressure early. We're going to have to pitch 2 reds to play a Surging Strike for 4.
Cool.
With go again.
I'm actually going to just block this card fully.
Yep, choosing not to sack.
I was like, oh, I should have an extra card. I'm bad.
You should do. And then I will play Whelming Gustwave for 4. So luckily I have a natural combo draw here. Would have been nice if I had a blue, because I could have played Minimalism here at the start and threatened a big Whelming Gustwave, but it's still alright pressure, threatening a card draw.
Yeah, it's quite... it doesn't actually threaten a card draw because of Stamp Authority.
Well, that is true.
And you don't... so, if it hits me, he still does get the Katsu trigger.
Yeah.
But he has no cards in hand. So I don't have to be so worried about letting it hit me. So this is one of the benefits of first turn. So I'm just going to block 3 and take 1.
Yeah. And I will pass back to you.
Cool.
Okay.
My Stamp Authority triggers. And then my Red Blessing triggers. So I reveal top 3 cards. And I gain 2 life.
Yep. Certainly hope that you don't have a bunch of blues in hand next turn.
Okay. So I'm going to try and be a little bit aggressive here.
Yeah.
I'm going to dominate. And then I'm going to play a Spinal Crush. Using my cost reduction from Seismic Surge. So coming in for 9 dominated. So the idea behind this is to slow Calum down.
Yeah. So I will just be blocking 3 here.
Take 6.
Taking 6.
And you
I
are
get
crushed.
Fortunately for me, this isn't the worst case scenario, as I can just E-strike for 7.
That's a decent.
Still get some value back.
Decent.
And don't get too hammered by the lack of go again.
So here I have these cards, right? So here I could take 7 and then come back with the Crippling Crush for 11, which is quite tempting. But it's taking 7 is quite a lot of damage, especially from an off turn, and I give him, although I do get the Crippling Crush off, I give him a, I'm likely to come behind on life totals in this trade. Yeah. But maybe that's okay, just to slow him down. The other option. The other play I can do is just to block this fairly evenly, play my Blessing of Deliverance from Arsenal to try and get a life gain, and then come in for 6, which I think is also fine.
Yeah, and that way you get...
Here I'm just going to block 5 and take 2.
Yeah. And then I get Arsenal, and this way you get to put a Crippling Crush in Arsenal.
Yeah.
For
well, depending what I draw off the Blessing. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to play my Blessing and draw a card. Okay. So I think I've got a slightly more fair card to put in Arsenal. than the correct playing. Or maybe not. Yeah, so I can't pitch the correct play and swing here. Because I just don't, it's not enough resource. So I'm going to make a Seismic Surge, the last resource. Then pitch Arouse the Ancients I drew, and come in for 6.
So I've just got to think about what I can effectively threaten on my turn.
So Calum's trying to find a way to put pressure back on me as efficiently as possible.
While not falling too far behind in life.
Yeah.
Which is very important. I think I'll be blocking for 3 here. And taking 3.
Cool. Oh, Arsenal my Crippling Crush.
Yeah.
And Arsenal Pass.
So Tunic ticks up to 3 here.
Okay.
I'm going to play a Scar for 4 with Go Again.
Alright. So it is actually quite important to block these upfront cards against Katsu because they can be used to trade Katsu and look for combo pieces that haven't been threatened yet. It's also just quite a lot of damage, so it can be quite important to block these. So here I'm just going to Sink Blow, and I want to get rid of a card from my hand anyway. It's a red pummel that doesn't block very well and that I can't hit you with. So we're going to just put it on the bottom and draw up.
And the Scar is always something that I want to do there because it threatens the Katsu trigger, it threatens damage, gets the block off, and I still have a hand, still the traditional pressure afterwards, which will be Dachi for 1.
Take 1. Whoops.
Kadachi for 1.
I'll take another 1.
And then leg tap for 4 with Go Again.
Alright, so this is quite a frightening card to play against.
Yeah.
But...
So I'm still threatening my Master Draw here off the 2 Dachis, even after the Scar. And Katsu trigger is also, but it'll be after the Master Draw, if it does hit.
So I've got an option here of either blocking out the leg tap, which takes my life down to... Sorry, which reduces my turn just to coming in for 4. Or I can use my equipment here, which I ideally want to save for later in the game.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I want to try and maintain an aggressive lead, so I will block with some army here.
Yeah. No attack reactions.
Cool, that's it.
Just pass back to you.
If I didn't have a good start, I would be more inclined just to block it out. My Blessing Deliverance triggers. I look at the top card. Oh. And I get 1 life.
Yep.
So here I'm just going to pitch, going to dominate, and then I'm going to come in with a disable. So this is to threaten his arsenal.
Yeah. So I won't be realistically looking at my next turn. I won't be playing this card effectively. And I'm looking just to minimize damage here. And I will be defending from my arsenal. So I will block 2 and then I'll defense react.
6.
Cool.
So you're just taking the 2 here.
So I'm only taking 2 here. The disable effect doesn't go off. And since I defend from arsenal, I still get to...
Dropping cards today. Yeah, that's fine for me to get a defense reaction from
Yeah.
you.
Kadachi for 1 here.
I'm just going to take 1 here.
Kadachi for 1 again.
I'll take 1 here as well.
Activating Tunic, and then Surging Strike for 5.
Surging Strike is a good card here.
Yeah.
So, a little bit risky. I'm just going to block you for 5.
Yep.
See if I get punished by the...
Yeah, I'm just going to Arsenal and
Nope.
pass.
Cool.
No Ancestral Blowout today.
So So you see I'm trying to keep my life total high. I'll make a Seismic Surge.
Yep.
That way I can continue to threaten the Crippling Crush later on. And just come in for 6.
So we actually have quite a strong turn here in terms of damage and threat. So I want to try and start applying pressure back now. So I'm just going to be blocking for 2 here, taking 4.
Cool.
I'm going to play a red Plunderon from Arsenal.
Okay.
I'm going to Kodachi for 1.
I'll take 1 here.
Surging Strike for 8 with go again.
Alright. So 8 is a really big block. And it's quite difficult to stop this. So my option is either I take 8 and then I go hard on trying to stop the whelming. Just let him search the whelming and then try and block that out. And hope he just doesn't have natural whelming.
Yeah.
Because then he gets to go get Mugenchi release, and then the game gets quite hard for me.
Yeah. Worth noting.
Or I can try and block out the Surging Strike, which is a little risky.
Yeah.
Because the one last card could be Ancestral, right?
Yeah.
So here, a block for 8 is quite hard to do. Especially when you don't have Skullcap active. So I think we are just going to take the 8 here.
Alrighty.
And try and stop the Mugen. The Whelming Gust Wave. So
So
you draw a card
I'm going
off.
to trigger the Plunderon, draw my card.
Trigger Katsu.
Yep, Katsu trigger. And here I fortunately don't have any resource floating, so if I did have 1 resource floating, I would be very happy to trigger Katsu for the release. However, that is not the case, so I'm just going to try and get value. So I'm going to just cut a blue Whelm and Gust Wave here, which I drew off the Plunderon.
Yeah.
And then search for a red one, just to put on more pressure.
Cool.
I get at least an armor piece here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and 2 armor pieces actually, because Breaking Scales is up.
Yeah.
So this is effectively, we'll be coming in for 5.
Yeah, with 2 draws
Yeah.
on the line. So I have to block it for 5 basically. These are wrong spots. Yep, so red whelming's coming out.
Yep. Red Whelm and Gust Wave for 4.
4, 5. So here I am just going to block you for 5.
Yep.
Like so. Not sinking.
Yep. And then I will just be playing a Flusterfist for 4, just get some value through.
Yeah,
Card
I
doesn't
just take that.
Yeah, card doesn't do a lot in my arsenal.
Yep, that's fair enough. It's just free damage.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. I don't want Calum to keep the pressure up, and he's used his arsenal, so he doesn't have any left, so it's going to be hard for him to stop this attack. So I'm going to Seismic Surge triggers, a pitch, make another Seismic Surge, and dominate.
Yep.
And it's coming.
Comes big Crippling Crush.
Crippling Crush for 11 dominated.
So I've got no real effective way of defending this. And cards will be discarded no matter what. And although I'll be taking a lot of damage, I kind of want to hold on to my armor for now, like Breaking Scales. I don't want to use it too early if it's just not stopping it on hit anyways. So I'll just be defending for the 3 here.
Okay, so you're taking 8.
Taking 8.
And I'll just roll for the card you keep.
Yep.
So keep this one.
Alrighty, so I discard Rising Knee Thrust and a Red Belittle.
Red Belittle, sweet. Cool, that is it.
Then I'll be a Kadachi.
Yeah, just Darchi.
Yep, just Darchi.
Cool. We'll take both of those.
Still get some little bit of damage back.
Yep.
Could definitely be worse.
I haven't drawn the most overly...
This hand couldn't really be much worse.
Oh no.
That's
I'm playing a blue blessing to draw a card.
Yep.
Alright. That's not a bad one. Oh, Seismic Surge is triggered. I think we're just going pitch 1. Sorry, I can't do that yet. Just make the Seismic Surge.
Yep.
And I'm just going to overpitch to play Debilitate for 6.
For 6.
This is more relevant than a Hammer Swing,
Yeah.
just because it can turn a Kadachi off.
There is, yeah, exactly.
Which, like, sure, it saves 1 damage, but it means the mask is harder to trigger.
Yeah.
So it is quite useful for that.
So I will be blocking 6 here. A Rising Knee Thrust and an Ancestral.
And Ancestral. Cool.
Yep.
So when you're playing Katsu, always count the Ancestrals and the Razors.
Exactly.
I don't know how many there are.
Well, I had a potential other block here. Daniel does not know what's in my hand exactly. So although the Ancestral block's a bit weird here, I want to keep my Tunic counter and still keep at least some pressure on.
Cool. I'll take 0. Oh, actually, you blocked.
Yeah, I blocked out.
I'll
Yeah.
take 1.
Then I'll Kadachi for 1 again.
I'll take 1.
I get 2 free damage here, don't use the Tunic counter, and I get my Arsenal off.
Cool. This is just a valid way for Katsu to try and get back into the game, right? So I'm going to try and punish you as much as possible for being slow, basically.
Yeah.
So my blessing triggers, and I gain a life. 20. And the life gain is really useful against Katsu because it pressuring your life is one of the main win strategies that they have. Here I'm just going to pitch. I'm going to play Spinal Crush, not dominating, so I'm threatening Pummel here.
Yeah. 2 floating, correct?
Yeah. So the reasons to do this are either you want to get cards out of hand, like you suspect that they might just block you out with equipment anyway, or you actually do have a Pummel.
Yeah, exactly. It is somewhat of a
super unlikely
lose-lose.
that they can stop the Pummel.
Exactly. Somewhat of a lose-lose situation here.
Exactly right, and that's kind of where Guardian wants you to be, is with 0 good options facing the wall.
Exactly. So unfortunately, I'm probably getting pummeled here. If not, I'm not doing much even if I get crushed. So
Do you mean even if you don't get crushed?
even if I don't get crushed, I'm not actually doing much here. So I'm just going to play to mitigate some damage, because if I get crushed, I'm not doing anything. If I don't get crushed, I'm not doing much. So there's no real point taking the damage.
Yep.
So I'm just going to have to block 6 here.
So you'd be taking 3.
I would
and
be
you've got
taking 3.
2 cards left.
Yeah.
So my options are, presuming I have a Pummel, right?
Yeah.
The options are to pummel him and make him lose his hand completely, which is quite a powerful effect. Or I can arsenal the Pummel and threaten on another turn, which might be a fair play. But I think here I'm looking for total domination, so I am actually just going to play my Pummel.
So I'll be taking a total of 5.
Yeah.
I lose my last card, which was an Art of War.
Cool.
Which unfortunately can't block.
And you are crushed.
Yep.
Not that you can.
Not that I can do anything, so we should just be drawing back up.
Yeah.
4. And passing back to you.
Alright. So we're just going to keep the pressure on. We're going to pitch, play a Seismic Surge.
Yep.
This is the danger of Bravo when he gets ahead. So you can just, if you draw right, you can just keep going. So we're just going to come in with the third Spinal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't take the Spinal, right? So because I don't get my go again. With the cards in hand,
Yeah.
I'll be getting crushed. However, if I'm double blocking, I'm not doing multiple attacks anyways.
So you're starting to think about your life total as well.
Yeah,
Because 9 is quite a lot of damage.
that is quite a lot. I think I'm blocking 5 here.
Cool.
Although I do take 4 and get crushed, it doesn't actually drastically change my turn.
Cool.
I'll
I'll
still
just
get some
pass on
value
those.
back. So I'll be playing a Plunder of Arsenal, and I will be E-striking for 10.
That actually uses your go again.
Oh, it does too. That is correct.
It does. You might want to keep that in your arsenal.
We'll keep that in Arsenal. We'll just
We'll
be
get-
7ing you then.
Just 7.
Yeah.
That is totally fine.
That is a little bit of a misplay
Here
there.
I'm just
but-
taking 7.
Easy
Yeah, so
enough.
make sure
Yeah.
you guys remember that your non-attack actions with go again do count, and are turned off by Spinal
Yeah.
Crush. So it hits Warrior as well. They can't play their red Warriors, Valors and such. And I'm sorry, Calum, but it continues.
Yeah.
So here we're just going to dominate with Seismic Surge active,
Yeah.
and then we're just going to pitch and Crippling Crush you with dominate.
4.
So I drew that alongside the Spinal, which is like, okay.
There we go. Being put through the ringer. So yeah, I think last turn I definitely should have chucked the Breaking Scales in. I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
passed.
So that you can turn that crush off.
Yeah. But listen, Bravo's not had a good day. He's pretty pissed at me. 11.
Who spilt the milk?
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, I currently have a handful of block 2s,
Okay, yeah, that makes this quite difficult.
which is not ideal, right?
Yeah. So I guess you try and save some health while maximizing your offense back.
And I got a hand of block 2s that don't do much. So got 11. I will be having to block with some equipment here, as it is lethal otherwise.
Yeah.
Blocking 2, 3. This is on 8.
Yep.
I think I will have to throw a mask in here as well. 'Cause I feel like the
Because
reason
Tunic's on 3. So it's
Tunic's on
quite a lot
3,
of
so
value.
there is some
Yeah.
there is some value there.
Cool. So you're blocking 5,
Yeah.
taking 6, and being crushed.
Yeah. There we go. And just roll for the 1 to keep.
Yeah. So you get the middle card.
Right, we lose
Yeah.
another minimalism and a
And
razor.
then I'll just also pass.
Right. And it'll just be Darchi,
Yep, I'll take 1.
as I'm not moving much else.
And I'll take 1. And now that Calum doesn't have armor,
Yep.
I'm going to be looking to push lethal through with dominate
Yeah,
cards.
exactly.
So we're going to pitch 3, we're going to dominate, we're going to pitch another 4, and we're going to come in with disable dominated for 7.
Exactly. And I got no defense reaction in the arsenal.
So this should be lethal unless he has a death reactant in hand.
Yeah, which I do not have. So the max I can defend for here is 4.
And you unfortunately are crushed
Yep.
for the last time.
There we go.
So yeah, this kind of shows how to play Bravo when you've been given quite aggressive hands. I was a bit lucky with some of my draws. But I think it also shows how you can play Katsu from behind as well. So if I have an off turn, if I draw a couple too many reds, there's a plunder run in Arsenal. There are a few things that you can do to get yourself back in the game.
Exactly.
And you are playing towards these win conditions.
But yeah, I think definitely shows that as Bravo not to be super afraid of Katsu. You can definitely go when the hands line up and you do get those crushes going. You definitely just go toe to toe and you keep on the pressure.
Sure. And I think it's quite a good idea to like Arsenal Crippling Crush will set up something big, so that you can actually, as I say, you this is a matchup where the Bravo can't sit still.
Exactly.
Against Warrior, you can just block out and come in for 6. Against the Katsu, their turns become so big if you leave them unchecked that they'll just, wash over you. So you need to interact with them, slap them back, and try and come out on top. So it can be quite a close matchup sometimes.
For sure.
My draws are a bit ridiculous there, but
I think it definitely illustrates it, especially with like the Dorinthia example. Like Dorinthia, if you're taking 666, currently they can have big turns, but they're not as big as Katsu. So if you're just hitting me with 6...
And they're very stoppable, right? Like a Dorinthia sets up a big turn, and you just go, staunch response from Arsenal, your big turn is gone.
Yeah. Katsu's like, here's my plunder on, here's my red surging strike. He gave me time to craft to have natural whelming in the hand. And then that's when it gets super scary.
And then it's just gone. Like if you have the Mugenshi there as well, then the hands just become ridiculous. But yeah, you want to set it so that you can survive the 1 or 2 plunder run turns that get thrown your way, and still be somewhat in control of the game. So it's not always easy to do, but I hope that game kind of showed you what you should be aiming for on Bravo.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it shows with the surging Katsu, with the plunder up, kind of what you should be aiming for on Katsu as well.
Yeah.
Where you want to be the aggressor in the matchup, but you also want to mitigate the crush effects as much as you can.
Exactly. Can't just let everything through, because then Bravo does pull ahead.
Yeah. Just because of how high,
how high value everything is, right?
It's tricky because like the Bravo is trying to line up their disabling effects with your big turns, right?
Yeah.
To like shut you off. So it's not so much like the amount of flat damage they're dealing, it's the amount of minus damage that they're dealing to you, where you just they spinal crush you and you've got a good hand set up and you're like, oh well, I have to give it away,
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for watching this episode of Art of War +1. Decklist will be in description as always. You got anything more to add?
No, not at all. I think it was definitely a good display of like how to play the matchup going toe to toe as Bravo instead of just sitting back and hammering. So.
Yeah, cool. Yep, make sure to like and subscribe. That'll make Greg happy.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.